Welcome back to Bottom Shelf. I'm Josh.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Erik.
And we're going to drink more whiskey.
Yay!
Joyce, can you tell our viewers at home what we are drinking today?
Today you are drinking Teacher's Highland Cream. Teacher's Highland Cream is a peated blended Scotch. It is the original creation of William Teacher. When the Spirits Act was passed in 1860, William used his access to malt and grain whiskey from across Scotland to experiment and create his own whiskey for sale in his dram shop. That whiskey lives on today as Teacher's Highland Cream. Teacher's Highland Cream comes in at 86 proof. We paid $16 for our bottle, with it usually costing $14. As always, your prices may vary. Enjoy!
Thanks, Joyce. Let's dive in and see what they think.
Oh, I like this. I like that nose.
I do too. I really like this nose.
But, I hear a butt coming.
There's a but. But it smells like a fart. Like, I really like it. But there's just a hint of fart there. And I just can't get past it.
I stood over there and farted.
I like it. I like it. There's just like...
Don't ruin this for me.
Okay.
I do not smell any butts or farts.
It's not like a bad fart.
It smells like...
So it smells like your own fart.
It's like a healthy... I don't know. I don't know.
Dig a hole, dig a hole.
Dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole. I don't even
Wait,
know.
besides farts, what else are you guys smelling?
Floral.
You getting a generic sweetness, a grain sweetness.
I'm getting like a floral sweetness, like sweet flowers.
See, I'm wondering if that's not where I'm picking up my fart is in the floral. I know. But
Erik, I lived with you for a really long time. Your farts do not smell like flowers.
no, not my farts. I just know that there are some flowers that I think have a kind of farty scent to them. So maybe this just has a scent of one of those flowers.
Like stink cabbage?
No, like...
Skunk cabbage, that's what it's called.
I'm trying to think of a flower that to me smells, that has like that hint of fart. I just can't.
Honey, I got you a bouquet.
But yeah, I'm definitely getting floral. I'm getting kind of light woody notes.
I'm getting a little bit of caramel, mixed grain cereal.
Yeah.
The caramel is just coming from, like, for me, it's just coming from that grain sweetness.
Yeah.
Like, it's producing a little bit of like a vanilla.
I'm getting more of like a grain sweetness.
Multi-grain Cheerios or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in for a sip. That sweetness carries through.
I love that palate. Definitely no fart there.
It's got a slight sweetness to it that is not overpowering. This is a sweetness that I enjoy. It washes over, but it doesn't wash out everything else.
I like how not overly sweet this one is.
It's a nice level of sweetness. Still leaves room for a little bit of wood spice.
It's definitely a wood spice.
That finish lingers around a while.
Yeah, it does.
It's not potent. It's not strong.
Yeah,
but it lingers.
It's mild, but long lasting.
But I think it's timed well. And I like the way it fades out instead of like finishes and then stops.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of like the same malty notes.
Yeah, I'd say the nose carries right into the palate very well.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. What I'm smelling is what I'm tasting.
Beyond
Yes.
fart.
Minus the fart. And I think that's just a weird...
Yes.
I think it's just a weird, like, sub-note.
I dig it.
I really like this.
I really like it. I want to see what it is with water.
I don't.
For science, I do.
Yes.
I'm
just enjoying it so much neat.
a little bit nervous that this is not
that
going
I don't
to
want
do
to
well.
distort it.
All right, well, while we let the water mingle with the whiskey, I'll tell you about our homes on the internet. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at The Bottom Shelf. You can find us on Twitter at Shelf Whiskey. You can find us on podhubnetwork.com. You can buy this bottle down below at Drizly, and you can support us directly by going to Patreon or buy me a coffee. Links down below for that. And we really appreciate if you would give us a like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, we love the comments.
I've been really appreciating the comments lately, actually.
Yeah.
Especially when you guys talk to each other.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and see what the water did here. More of that malt notes
Yeah.
going forth.
Yes, it makes it very heavy on the malt side.
Which, I like malt. People who do not like that smell of malt, but I love the smell of malt.
I didn't used to. When I first started drinking whiskey, that was a smell that would turn me right off. But I like it these days.
There's no floral note anymore.
I still got a very mild floral note on the nose. I got no floral note on the palate.
No, but it kicked up the spice on the palate.
It did kick up the spice. For me, it kind of kicked down the finish.
Yes, I agree. But it kicked up the spice.
At that transition between palate and finish, I'm getting a little bit of pine tar resin flavor to it. Almost like an IPA.
I don't like it as much with the water, but it's still
drinkable.
Yeah.
It's still drinkable with water. But yeah, I think it's better overall. Every single category, better without.
Yes.
Yeah, this one is definitely a neat for me.
Yeah.
A neat.
It doesn't fall off too terribly much, but it does fall off with water.
And that was just with a couple drops. If you're going to use a mixer, how much more is it going to fall off as you add half an ounce to an ounce?
I bet it might be able to stand up to an ice cube. All right, you guys ready for some ratings?
Yep.
Sure.
All right, let's start with the nose.
Nose, I was going to go 3.5 until someone said fart. I'm going to stick with my 4 on the nose. I really enjoyed this nose. I just had to give Erik a jibe there on that one. Yeah, I love the floral notes in it. I got just a hint of sweetness to expect on the palate. I loved the malty and multi-grain aromas that I was getting out of it. I really enjoyed this.
I really enjoyed the nose. I want to give it a higher rating. I'm giving it a 3. That fart just... I can't get rid of it, and I can't give it higher because I'm just getting a little whiff of fart.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think the nose is great, and I want to give it a 4, but I don't think it's quite worthy of a 4. So 3.5. Going on then to the palate.
I really like this one too. Palate, I think I'm going to stay with 4 on the palate. What you smelled is what you got. And what you smelled was very inviting. I smelled a little bit of sweetness on the nose, and then I got just a touch of sweetness. It transitioned nicely between the different flavors that I was picking up. I really enjoyed this whiskey as a neat whiskey.
I would agree with you on every note. What you smelled was what you got minus the fart. I did not get the fart on the palate, thankfully. So I'm giving it a 4.5 on the palate. I very much enjoyed this whiskey neat.
I'm going to give it a 4 on the palate. Yeah, what you smelled is exactly what you got on the palate. It makes it easier to drink when you smell exactly what it tastes like. You're not jarred by it. And then we leave off then with finish.
Finish was the downfall on this, but I'm still going to give it a 4. I thought it lingered just a little bit, but it lingered appropriately. I thought it was the perfect length for this. I just wish I kind of got more flavors out of the finish than I did. But the timing was absolutely perfect. It knocks it down from a 4, but it doesn't knock it down enough for me to take it to a 3.5. So I'm going to stick with a 4 on it.
I'm also giving it a 4 on the finish. I don't think that the finish was the weak point on this. I don't know that this whiskey really had a weak point for me. The fart, I guess? I think the finish was perfectly balanced with the palate. It flowed, it complemented. The length of the finish was just ideal for me.
I'm going to go 3.5. I think it went well with everything else. I think I put it on the same levels as the nose. Honestly, just around the whole dry whiskey, just a well-rounded, from beginning to end experience. All right, so we're going to dive into our guesses then. So we're guessing what kind of whiskey you think this is, what the proof is, how much retail is, and then how much you'd be willing to pay.
I'm going to go lowland Scotch blended.
It's like a blended malt or just blended?
Blended from various lowland Scotches, not a blended malt.
So a blend of grain and malt whiskey.
Yeah. Okay. Proof, I want to go 80 on this, 28 for it, and I would pay 28 for it.
I also think it's Scotch. I think it's single malt. I'm going to go single malt lowland. I think you kind of persuaded me in that direction. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say 80 proof. I absolutely would pay Knowing that it is less than $30, I would pay whatever the price is for this. I'm going to say it's probably on the upper end. I'm going to say 26-ish, but I would pay 30.
Let's dive in then we'll go over the other sites' ratings and other sites' reviews. General tasting notes. So first off, I only have one rating for this, and it's Distiller, who tends to be kind of critical. So it's 77 from them. General tasting notes from other sites. Nose, smoke, honey, malt, pear, and toffee. Palate, smoke, peat, malt, honey, citrus, licorice. Finish, smoke, bitter, malt, toffee. Okay, I said smoke in all three of those. Go back to that and tell me if you smell smoke. Or taste smoke.
No.
No?
A little bit, but
I get it on the finish.
I mean, now that you say it,
Now that you say it, I get it on the finish. I do not get it on the nose. And I might get a hint of it on the palate.
I get the peatiness, though, that you would say. Yeah, I get it on the finish.
So there's peat in there.
There's definitely peat in there.
So it's going to be, this will be in this whiskey, once I reveal it, this is going to be in our peated blend Scotch. Once we get to that.
Okay. Well, I was wrong.
It ain't Lowland.
Actually,
It's not blended. It's blended.
It's
So
blended Scotch.
my single malt was...
Yep, single malt, not single malt. That being said, so as far as, so blended Scotches don't tend to actually claim a region.
Okay.
That being said, this one claims a Highland heritage.
Okay.
Just because of where the single malt that's in this whiskey, this blended whiskey comes from. Proof is 86. A little bit higher proof than what we're used to for this. General price is $14.
Wow.
Ooh.
That being said, I paid $16.
Still,
Plus $3 shipping.
I said I would be willing to pay $30 for this. For $16 plus $3 shipping, that's a steal.
Today we drank Teacher's Highland Cream. And before you ask, it's not creamy.
Yeah, why? Why does it say cream?
It's the cream of the crop.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's the idea, I think.
Okay, sure.
I've heard a lot about this, and this was highly recommended to me to try.
Yes.
I'm glad I've tried it.
So we had someone, I can't remember who asked for this in the comments. A couple people did, actually. So if I did it, here it is. Your comments are really what kind of brought me to finally special order this through our store. I didn't really like the idea of special ordering it, but because of your comments, I went ahead and did it. And I think it was a good choice. So let's go over some other things here. Age is at least 3 years old. Mash bill, obviously it's a mixture of single grain and single malt whiskeys to make a blended whiskey. That being said, we do have some information about what the mixture is. Reportedly, it's around 45% single malt and then mixed with grain whiskey. And that's quite a bit higher than what usually is used. Usually it's in 20 to 30%. So we're looking at 45%. So there's a high amount of malt in this whiskey. Most of the peated malt comes from the Ardmore Distillery, who is owned by Suntory. So you guys didn't get peat right off the bat, but you also didn't get peat or smoke right off the bat with the red label either. Right. I do tend to reserve peated stuff for last because peat can just really overwhelm the palate, and because it really can taint the glass too. So
yeah.
If we were doing more shoots, I want to try to be towards the end just so it doesn't affect our palate as much. That being said, I think that we may, because we put it towards the end of our shoots, we are becoming a little bit blind to the peat. I feel like peat things through a lot, but I feel like in a lot of the whiskeys we've done that have peat, we haven't found it as much. That being said, I can see why someone would go for this over other peated blended whiskeys like Johnny Walker Red. And you guys rated it pretty high.
Yeah, we both said we pay significantly more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys said you paid like Johnny Walker Red prices, essentially.
Yeah.
Until next time, may the winds of fortune sail you.
May you sail a gentle sea.
May it always be the other guy who says,
This drink's on me.